The regular season in minor league baseball is over as the final game of the season has taken place, and both Colorado Springs AAA and Biloxi AA will not be participating in the playoffs for the Milwaukee Brewers organization. With that said, it is time to go over what the top prospects are looking like as of the end of the 2017 minor league season going forward, as well as some ETAs for different prospects. The top dog in the Brewers farm system is still the outfielder Lewis Brinson, who was slashed 291, 352, 579, 932 this season with 26 home runs and 78 RBI. Cooled off a little bit from the start of the year, but still slugged almost 600 with a 350 OBP. This guy is definitely ready for next year, and he's the guy that you're going to see after the first month of the season so that we can retain the extra year of service time for him. So I put his ETA at 2018, which is next year. His previous ranking in this farm system list in the first video that you saw was number 1, so he does not move on the list at all. Still the best prospect, and he is still going to be a major league star as soon as next season. Another prospect retaining his ranking from the earlier in the season list is Josh Hader, and that is despite a demotion to AA earlier this season. He has been really good in AA, however, as he has had 17 starts, 105 innings pitched, 171 ERA, 101 WHIP, 806 Ks per 9, 231 walks per 9, .61 home runs per 9, and a 235 FIP. So he'll definitely be ready to try his hand at AAA once again next season. I would give him a 2019 ETA. He's still pretty much on track as he's progressing pretty nicely, and he should see the rotation in Season 3 of this franchise. Our number 3 prospect is Shintaro Fujinami, who moved up all the way from number 9 on the earlier in the season list due to a strong performance at AAA, showing that he is almost ready for the majors and is another one with an ETA of next year who will be playing after the first month of the season passes. 29 starts, 158 and a third innings pitched, 341 ERA, 123 WHIP, 9.32 Ks per 9, 2.73 walks per 9, .68 home runs per 9, and a 285 FIP on the season. At 4th, we have the other Japanese pitcher signed by the Brewers before this season, Shohei Ohtani, and you could really put him and Fujinami as 3A and 3B, as Fujinami's had a slightly better overall season. However, just like Fujinami, you are going to be seeing Shohei Ohtani in the Major League rotation for the Brewers early on in next season. He was previously the 6th prospect on this list. He moved all the way up to number 4 with a strong minor league season. 29 starts, 170.2 innings pitched, 2.74 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 8.33 walk Ks per 9, 2.74 walks per 9, .69 home runs per 9, and a 308 FIP on the season. Definitely a great prospect and definitely someone who is going to be getting plenty of action next season. Rounding out the top 5 is longtime top Brewers prospect Orlando Arcia, and he hasn't really had the greatest season so far. He's been demoted to AA, and at AA he's hit 235, 315, 354, 669. Not really doing anything spectacular. His defense obviously is still there, but he only fell 1 spot, and that was pretty much only due to the rise of the duo of Fujinami and Ohtani during the AAA season. So he still rounds out the top 5, and I would definitely say he is going to have a spot on the Major League squad next season, as it is clear that playing in the minors is no longer going to be very good for him, and he just needs time at the MLB level to figure it out. Now, all the prospects you've seen so far are going to be on the Brewers Major League squad within the next couple of years. This is a guy who is not, and this season just reaffirmed that. Corey Ray, previously the 3rd prospect, fell to 6th. His ETA I put at 2021, but it could be even later. He still has vast potential, but he's struggled so far this year in AA, hitting 204, 275, 307, and 582 with 9 home runs and 42 RBI. Definitely a okay season, but not what you want to see out of a prospect who's already pretty up there in age and still sitting at a very low overall. So we'll have to see how this guy progresses going forward and see if he can retain his vast potential and his high slot on the Brewers farm system ranking. Keeping his spot from the last ranking at number 7 is shortstop Isan Diaz, who has had a very good season in AA, hitting 311, 370, 522, 892, with 16 home runs and 45 RBI. He is another guy who is a little bit more down the road, though, is a pretty developed hitter, but he needs to develop his fielding skills, and he could probably use a season or 2 at the AAA level to just get a little bit more accustomed to the competition. Not everybody can be Rafael Devers or Michael Conforto and just come up from AA to the MLB and just be instantly successful, and I don't think Isan Diaz is going to be put in a situation where he's going to be expected to do that. still very good and excited to see where he is going to go going forward. At number 8, we got Luis Ortiz, who was a top 5 prospect in the first half of the season and really hasn't done anything wrong other than have other people outperform him. He's started 28 games, 147 innings pitched, a 2.45 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, 7.53 Ks per 9, 2.14 walks per 9, 0.61 home runs per 9, and a 2.96 FIP. So like I said, definitely has had a very good season. Just other prospects have had better seasons to move up the list. But we'll see what Luis Ortiz does going forward, as he is one of the more promising arms in the Brewers system. New to this list is third baseman Lucas Sagg, who's had a very good season at AA, and he's really opened eyes within the Brewers organization, as he has hit .302, .367, .523, .890 this season with 17 home runs and 50 RBI. Him and Isan Diaz have definitely been the two strongest hitters at the AA level, so it'll be interesting to see how much they develop together going forward. And Lucas Sagg is already a very developed hitter, needs to work on his fielding a little bit, but he's already has a great approach at the plate, puts balls into play, and hits for quite a bit of power as well. So new to the list, he's kind of a fringy guy, doesn't have the highest potential, raw potential, but we'll see if he can develop into a good hitter and good third baseman going forward, as that has been a black hole for the Brewers so far this season and in recent years. Final prospect we are going to be discussing is AAA second baseman Tetsuo Yamada, who actually fell down a couple slots from his earlier ranking, and it's looking like this guy is going to be more of a 2-year project than ready to come into the league next year, as the middle infield for the Brewers is already pretty crowded, and what this guy does is pretty much just get on base. That's it. He doesn't really offer a whole lot else. He's a decent fielder. He has okay speed, as he stole 13 bases this season, but his slash line was 243, 341, 356, 698, so he's not hitting for a lot of contact, and he's definitely not hitting for a lot of power. I think he's a guy who's going to be sitting in the minors at least for another couple of seasons. We'll see how he can progress next season, but with the middle infield being pretty set as it is, with Orlando Arcia entrenched at shortstop for at least the next couple seasons, and Jonathan VR under team control for quite a while, as well as Hernan Perez, who has been definitely above average in terms of what he brings to the table. Tetsuo Yamada is a guy that I wouldn't see in the league before 2019. And so there you have it. There is your 2017 end of season prospect report on the Milwaukee Brewers. The only difference between the first prospect list that came out and this list is that number 10 outfielder Trent Clark from the first part of the season was not included on this list. He was replaced by Lucas Sagg. Pretty much other than that, everybody just moved around, though. A couple guys moved high up the list. Not really, anybody didn't really fall down a whole lot, but there was a lot of movement. Not many guys stayed at the exact same spot. So that is going to do it for this episode of the Brewers franchise in MLB The Show 17. There's going to be a couple more gameplay episodes, and then we are going to dive into the offseason after a season recap episode 2. So there's about 3 more episodes for this first season. That is going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more MLB The Show 17 Brewers franchise.